Hey, I'm Mike Twombley, health coach and six-pillar practitioner, here with Six-Pillar Living and Dr. Aajay Shah. We're here to continue bringing you pillar number 2, which is exercise. Branch number 3 of that is content, and so we're getting into the specifics, the details of exercise today for you so that you know where to begin as well as where you can progress from here, moving into your goals, your plans, and the specific decisions that you have to make with regard to your exercise pillar. Now remember, exercise and activity is not just what you do in the gym or in your fitness center at home or on a yoga mat, but it's your entire life. And remember, as we talked about in quality, content today is going to be the specifics of how we get from doing something that is applicable or going to lend some strength and mobility to an actual activity that you'd like to be able to participate in your actual life. So that could be riding a bike, that could be surfing, that could be skiing, that could be jumping on the trampoline with your grandkids. Again, all of these things are going to require the participation of your muscles and your cardiovascular, your heart, i.e. what Dr. Shah has worked on with you for years, even decades now, trying to make sure you have the strongest heart possible. Now we're going to talk about the exercise that can help keep that heart strong and allow you to move forward in your exercise life, in your activity life, and be able to do the things with your health in your life in your years to come that you would like to be able to do with your body. So, jumping into content, we have 3 core areas of exercise. We've talked about these already. They are your cardio, your core, and your resistance exercises. Now, each of these play an important role, but are segmented for the purposes of how they apply to the life itself and what they can actually offer to your day-to-day activities. Now, cardio is going to be one that is obviously going to be dedicating a lot of its benefits to bringing the blood to the body, bringing the blood to the brain, bringing the blood and oxygen around, which is going to be huge for your overall health. Wonderful thing to have, and it is a necessary thing to have in your daily activities. I would encourage everyone to have at least 30 minutes of exercise, cardio being a large part of that, every single day, to ensure that you have the very highest level of health and your heart is kept extremely healthy. That means we're shooting for about 70 to 80%, even 70 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. If you don't know what that means, it's actually 220 minus your age is your maximum heart rate. Now, to get 70 to 90%, all you're doing is multiplying by 0.7 and multiplying by 0.9, and that is the range of the heartbeats per minute that you want to stay in for a prolonged period of time. Now remember, this prolonged period of time is relative to that 30 minutes, so it doesn't take a whole lot, and it can actually come in the form of interval training where it's 1 minute at a time, bursts of that, and then going on to an exercise such as those that we're going to talk about within your core and your resistance training, so as to keep the heart rate up throughout the entire exercise duration. Now, that can come across 30 minutes of a variety of exercises, or you could jump on a treadmill, which is a wonderful way to go. So beginning with cardio, you can jump on a treadmill, you can jump on an elliptical, you can jump on a rowing machine, you can go for a jog or walk outside. There are a million different ways that you can do cardiovascular exercise, including calisthenics and those that you'll see in the military, like jumping jacks and things of this nature that don't require a piece of equipment at all. We're trying to make this simple for you to make sure that you have everything that you need and that there's no need for equipment, or if you would like to have some small pieces of equipment, then it can definitely help. So jumping into the next core exercise area is going to be that exactly, your core, your abs, your midsection. Your lower back, your lumbar is a part of this as well. It works around to the sides, which are your obliques, and then your upper and lower abdomen. Now, all 4 of these areas are going to be very, very important. On back day, which is a part of the resistance, you'll be getting your lower back involved, and will be very important that you continue to do so, because the lower back and lumbar is actually what supports the diaphragm and gives it the ability to do its job in exhaling and inhaling air. So it's a very, very important area to keep strong. Anyone out there who has bad back problems knows it's a little difficult to breathe. So remember, keep your back nice and strong and do your very best to avoid any kind of trauma or traumatic injuries that could come as a result of just being careless with the lower back. Dropping down, jumping down, those types of things. Anytime you're doing any kind of exercises like that, that's something that are very good and can be very beneficial, but take heed, take warning as you're doing those. As far as your midsection on the obliques are concerned, that's going to be something where you're going with some overheads, doing some oblique work, doing some side bends, those sorts of things. Those are going to be very, very key to you being able to move side to side. Again, this is jumping on the trampoline, playing with the grandkids. I can guarantee if you're chasing one of those little guys around or girls around, you're going to be using your obliques on a very, very regular basis. And anyone who knows it's chasing around kids, all you want to do is sit down and rest at the end of the day. Totally understandable, but the stronger these are, the more endurance you're going to have to be able to play with them for hours on end. And finally, in our core, working our upper and lower abdomen. Upper is going to come in the form of, say, sit-ups or crunches. That's going to be a great place for you to start as far as working on those, and doing those on a regular basis is a great idea. For the lower abdomen, you're going to be doing things like leg raises and even knee crunches if leg raises are a little bit too difficult. Now, you'll want to incorporate core every single day, and when you do your resistance training, we're going to pair up the core with a specific day. So I've set aside 3 days for you separated so that this is kind of a great sampling of exercises and a great sampling of ways to begin as far as your exercise path, journey forward is actually going to move. So a great place to start is day 1, jumping into chest and triceps. It's a great combination because these again are your pushing exercises, which I mentioned yesterday. Now your pushing exercises are going to be those that you're essentially pushing your weight away from your body. That's going to come in the form of a press or a fly action, which is going to use the chest muscles themselves. These are your pectorals, and those are your chest muscles engaged. And when you do so, they're also engaging the triceps, which is great when you pair the two together. Works very, very efficiently, and it is a great day 1 for you to have in your week. So if you have set up 3 days to work out, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you do a little bit of stuff between, say cardio or walking or something like that to engage your activity for the 30 minutes and the days off, that's a great way to go. You can also do this in a 4-day work week. You can do it in 5 days of exercise. You can split it up and do it 6 days of exercise. But I'll give you 3 days, and if you just kind of cycle these around over and over and over, you'll be able to make sure that you're hitting the body in a very even way. So start off with your day 1 on chest and tris. You'll do your upper abdomen at this point, so your upper core, and you'll be doing some cardio. So do cardio, core, and 2 of your resistances each day. Moving into day 2, we're going to jump into back and biceps. So back and biceps, your back is essentially going to be much like your chest in that there's going to be a push and pull mechanism going on as you're working these muscles. On back and biceps, it's more of a pull that's going on, and it's using the fronts of the arms, the biceps, so that again works really well together. So working back and biceps together, there are rows. You can do rows for your back, you can do reverse flies for your back, and again, that's just similar to the way that the chest works on the front side of the body. The back side of the body works very, very similarly. Now, working with that and working with the biceps are ones that are essentially you're going to be able to do curls for. And curls are something that is essentially taking the lower part of your arm and bending it up at the elbow and squeezing up to the shoulder. Now, this can be done 3 different ways, and so play around with these and kind of see what you like in terms of the appearance of the arm, and then focus on that area a little bit more with regards to how you hold the resistance. This can be done with resistance bands, or this can be done with dumbbells. This can be done with machines if you're at the gym, or coffee cans at home if that's all you have. Again, remember, the least force necessary with regards to getting the results that you want is going to be the most consistent way that you're going to follow an exercise routine. So when you're doing this, pay attention to where your hand is, okay? So when you're doing this, and there's something called supination, okay? And that means that your palm is upward, okay? There's pronation, which is your palm is downward, and there's a neutral grip, which is just thumbs up and your palm is inward. Now, these are the three ways that you can do a bicep curl. So you can do it with the palm up, which is supination. Again, neutral with it in the middle, with the thumb up. Or you can do it with the thumb or palm down and thumb in and doing a curl like this. Play with it, have fun, do whatever way feels best to you. All three will work the bicep really well, just in a slightly different way. As the palm is up, you'll notice you'll be working more of the peak of the bicep and getting more shape involved. As the thumb comes up and inward goes the palm, that's that neutral grip. You're going to have a little bit of a longer bicep, but a little combination between the shape and the length. And then when you go straight down, you'll notice the body of the muscle itself drops all the way down to the elbow, and that becomes the longest that bicep is actually going to be. And so all the way down and all the way up, whatever grip you choose, enjoy it, have fun, and find what works best for you, what feels best for you, and what you enjoy the most, and will consistently stick with. So those are the day 2 exercises that I would recommend as you're moving into this. And moving on to day 3, we're going to bring in the legs and shoulders. Those are the last 2 areas of the body, the muscle groups that we would like to focus on to get in our 3-day cycle here. And the legs and shoulders are essentially going to be something where the legs you can really knock out nearly all the muscle groups that are necessary for you to have on a regular basis in squats, which are just lowering yourself down to the ground. Point the toes slightly outward, legs about shoulder width apart, even slightly a little wider, and put the weight on the heels. Make sure that the knees don't go past the toes, and as you lower yourself down with really good posture. This is very key so that we don't put a lot of stress and strain onto the knees themselves, and most of the weight is being placed onto the hips, but fronts of the legs, which are your quadriceps, and the backs of your legs, which are your hamstrings. All 4 areas are very, very important, and I'm sure very important to you. You probably have the area that you'd like to have the most work on. Heard one of those in those 4 areas. So doing squats is a great one. Another one is lunges. Now lunges can be done stationary, or they can be done stepping outward. And a lunge is something that isn't always the best option for someone who has knee discomfort right away. So build up your strength with squats and then start to explore into the lunges. You can also do lateral lunges as well with a squat involved, and those will allow you to do an outward step and work the inner and out of the thigh as well as the hips, which are a great way to incorporate the hips and the inner and outer thigh as a part of your squats and your lunging movements. So legs being out of the way, we jump into shoulders, and the shoulders actually work in such a way that they press and they raise. Those are 2 types of exercises and movements that you can do with the shoulder, and one of those being where you're actually pressing upward with the press itself, whether it be dumbbells, resistance bands, whatever your resistance is. Could be a machine at the gym, or again, like I said, you could be at home with just canned goods that weigh different amounts and bigger or smaller cans based on your strength level and how you feel. The second exercise that you could use for your shoulders are raises. Now raises are ones where you'll be holding whatever the resistance is and either raising forward to work the fronts of the shoulders, which are right here. Those are called anterior deltoids, and those are going to be the muscles that are going to be worked for the rounding and strengthening of the fronts of the shoulders, which you'll use also in chest day actually. And also lateral raises, which can be done outward, and that's going to work the medial deltoids, which will be used in carrying groceries, carrying kids around, playing with the kids, of course, and then any athletic event that goes on while you're having that great day with the grandkids. So really, really pay attention to the shoulders, because again, just like the lumbar, the lower back, the shoulders have a tendency to kind of get pulled here and there, and when they do, they can kind of be a pain to get back to health again. So the best thing to do is to try to strengthen them, get them into a healthy state so that we avoid the injury altogether. So that's the 3 days. The 3 days, with your cardio and your core involved is going to be a great way for you to fill your exercise and activity pillar full of content that is going to help you be the very strongest, best, and healthiest individual that you can moving forward. And Dr. Shah and I want you to have the very best life moving forward, full of all kinds of activity, those of which are going to be full of life, full of relationships, full of people that you love and care for, so that you can truly enjoy your life in all 6 pillars. We look forward to bringing you another branch of exercise starting tomorrow again. So we look forward to having you back, and we can't wait to serve you. Thank you from myself and Dr. Shah.